This is Alice Starr with your Key Races and Bets podcast for Saturday, January 18th, 2025. This Key Races and Bets podcast is brought to you by Amwager.com. AMWAGER. Amwager.com is a great legal online wagering website for horse racing. Amwager.com has some great betting tools and perks and is legal for residents of most states and covers most tracks in North America as well as many around the world. Check it out, Amwager.com. You can also get the written version of this podcast, the Key Races and Bets blog, free at Amwager.com by clicking on How to Bet and Alice Starr's blog. We're going to start the Saturday, January 18th podcast with the Busanda Stakes, race 8 at Aqueduct, 3:39 Eastern. The win contenders in preference order are Running Away, My Sharona, and Ramify. And although the Kentucky Oaks is a little less than 4 months away, these early prep races like the Busanda are significant, particularly as this race is run at 9 furlongs around 2 turns, the same as the Oaks. Running Away gets top billing as the only horse who has won around 2 turns and one of only 3 to have run in a 2-turn race. The rest have run 1-turn miles, which still routes, but not as representative of this trip as, for example, the mile and a 16th distance Running Away won at when last seen November 30th. Better still, Running Away dominated late after leading early, and even from the 9 post, she can do the same thing here if need be, or she can take up a stalking trip. As a daughter of Gunrunner, the sire with the most 9-furlong stakes winners among all the sires in the field, and trained by Wesley Ward, who ships her in from Kentucky, Running Away also possesses the highest, fastest, last-race Echo-based speed figure in the field to improve upon. My Sharona is a maiden, but she's run very well in 2 starts to date, beating half length each time. She was ahead by a length in the stretch before losing her most recent race 5 weeks ago, and her stalking style gives her a big shot again on an improving pattern of Echo-based speed figures, 75 to 77. Her pedigree suggests she'll love the distance as a daughter of Not This Time out of an Include mare, and although My Sharona was the 4-5 favorite last time out, she'll be a better price today because she's a maiden in a stakes race. Ramify was the one who beat My Sharona in that stakes maiden race 5 weeks ago, where she showed a ton of maturity, but was also really green, which means she really didn't know exactly what to do. She was 5th and 13 lengths back after half mile, quickly moved up to be 2nd early in the stretch before moving by to win. Her 78 figure can be improved upon as well, and as Tappet is her dam's sire, she'd have no issues with this longer trip. In the Busanda Stakes, race 8 Aqueduct, Saturday the 18th, 3:39 Eastern, Running Away, 2-1. That's my minimum odds for a win bet. I would consider a second win bet on My Sharona or Ramify at 7-2 or more, betting the one of the pair at the highest odds, probably for a little less money than Running Away. And since Running Away is probably going to be lower odds, it makes it easy using what's called a Dutching tool at Amwager. When you have more than one contender above fair odds, you can bet more than one to win, and using a Dutching tool helps a lot. It prorates your wagers for the maximum edge. Amwager has a free Dutching tool. All you do is put the total amount of money you want to bet to win and select 2 horses or more, and the bets are prorated based on the odds. That's one of many great tools and perks at Amwager.com. Moving down to Gulfstream Park, we could also bet an exacta box by the way of Running Away, My Sharona, and Ramify. Moving down to Gulfstream Park for race 9, the Sunshine Sprint, 4:20 Eastern. The win contenders are Damon's Mound and Comedy Town. Damon's Mound was a highly regarded 2-year-old in the summer of 2022, won the Saratoga Special in only the second start of his career. After some setbacks, Damon's Mound won the Hilton Memorial and the Grade 2 Gallant Bob in the summer and fall of 2023. The latter with a very strong 105 Echo-based speed figure, bringing his record to 4 wins in 7 dirt sprints. Damon's Mound then finished second a month later with another effort with a 106 figure in the Steel Valley Sprint before dissipating 4th place finish and a long layoff, nearly 13 months, that he comes back from here. Now he's in the hands of Bill Mott with some superb workouts, and as a mature 5-year-old and ready to go, there's a lot of evidence Damon's Mound can repeat his best efforts, which would be good enough to win. The other contender is Comedy Town, who improved markedly last spring after joining the barn of Saffie Joseph, winning 2 in a row in June and between June and August, including the Smile Sprint Stakes at Gulfstream at this distance with a 106 figure comparable to Damon's Mound's best 106. Proving that win at 11-1 to be no fluke, Comedy Town won the Benny the Bull Stakes that was competitive with some top sprinters in the Phoenix Stakes in October before taking time off. Drayden Van Dyke was up for those 2 stakes wins, rides back. The workouts coming in this race suggest a big effort by Comedy Town, and that's good enough to win to be very competitive with Damon's Mound. In the Sunshine Sprint, race 9 at Gulfstream, 4:20 Eastern, Saturday the 18th, I'm looking to bet Damon's Mound and Comedy Town either or both at 2-1 or more. Moving cross-country to Santa Anita for the Unusual Heat Turf Classic Stakes, race 9, 6:30 Eastern. Win contenders are On the Whim and Alligato. Other horses with a chance to win are Old Pal and None Above the Law. In a very deep field, we have some horses we can use for second and third on exacta trifecta tickets. Those are Takes 3, Barely Functional, We Can, and Coalinga Road. First, with a big field, wide open race, I don't foresee a low odds favorite. It may actually be the favorite, maybe about 4-1, which provides an opportunity to play more exacta combinations than we might normally, and the return might be worth the risk. As to the main win contenders between On the Whim and Alligato, I have to start with On the Whim because he draws the 2 posts compared to 11. Although at this 9 furlong trip, which starts in the top of the stretch, outside posts aren't as disadvantageous as they are at shorter distances. On the Whim has a slight edge and he has tactical speed, having earned one of his 2-turn wins leading from the start to finish, and another one stalking in second for the first 7 furlongs. He really loves the turf course at Santa Anita, having won 3 of 5, and he won the nearly identical California Dreaming Stakes for Cowbreds only at Del Mar this past August. He also won the California Flag Handicap for Cowbreds also at 6.5 furlongs on the Santa Anita course in October. On the Whim had traffic trouble in his only start since then, which was against Open Company, which means not restricted like this to Cowbreds only. And he also drew the 11 post for a mile. Today he gets a good post, and if repeats his California Flag or California Dreaming efforts, On the Whim can win. Alligato's a deep closer, so his post shouldn't affect him at all. Jockey Flavian Pratt comes off the best year of his career and gets back on after 2 races with a jockey, and Pratt was aboard for both the 2023 Turf Classic and last year's edition of the race, when Alligato rallied to miss by a half length and a nose on the wire. Trainer Mark Glatt and Pratt have only teamed up for 27 horses in the last 5 years for 39 starts and have won with better than 25%, 10 for 39. Glatt also trains Old Pal, who has a respectable 3-2-4 record in 10 lifetime starts, 9 and 10 of the money, all on turf. He won the Snow Chief Stakes, which was restricted to 3-year-olds at the distance on this course in May of 2023. Then was off for a year, but won in May of last year as if he'd never been away. Old Pal's winless in 5 since, but hit the board in 4. And his last try at this 9 furlong trip on October 12th, also at Santa Anita, was a big effort when he came flying down the stretch to miss by a nose. None Above the Law went 1 for 11 last year, but nearly won the California Flag and was only a half length of the neck behind On the Whim. Smith rode him for the first time and gets back on after 2 races with other jockeys. Most importantly, None Above the Law dropped significantly in class from Open Grade 2 Hollywood Turf Cup to this Cowbred level. That gives him a shot. In the Unusual Heat Turf Classic Stakes, race 9, Santa Anita, 6:30 Eastern, Saturday, January 18th. On the Whim and Alligato should first be considered for win bets, either or both at 3-1 or more. I might consider win bet on Old Pal and None Above the Law at 5-1 or more, and certainly would use the Dutching tool at Amwager to help get the best mathematical edge possible. I'm going to play 2 exactas here. The first is going to be On the Whim and Alligato over. On the Whim, Alligato, Old Pal. None Above the Law, Takes 3, Barely Functional, We Can, and Coalinga Road. The second is going to be the reverse of that, which is On the Whim, Alligato, Old Pal, and None Above the Law, above, over. On the Whim, Alligato, Old Pal, None Above the Law, Takes 3, Barely Functional, We Can, and Coalinga Road. Again, these exactas are worth it, in my opinion, because we've got some good possibilities for the exact to pay $100 or more. Moving down to race 11 on the card, the Cal Cup Oaks, race 11, 7:30 Eastern at Santa Anita on the 18th. Top win contenders taken to the card. Other win contenders are Musical Number and Sunset Grazing. Horses to consider for second and third on exactas are Tequila and Therapy, Chili Philly, Hey Jesse, and Less is More. I think Frankie Dettori can get taken to the card into a good mid-pack position. On the first turn, she ran spectacularly well in her debut just 20 days ago, sprinting on the Santa Anita turf, and it's a highly confident move of trainer Callahan to bring her back in just almost under 3 weeks for this race, which is essentially similar to a first level allowance race, although there are some Calbred winners in the field. This is a talented filly, as she lost many lengths at the start, but neither she nor Frankie Dettori panicked. Instead, Dettori got taken to the card to relax in fourth after a quarter mile, third after a half. When called upon, she rallied quickly to draw off, earning an 88 Equibase speed figure, which is pretty good for a Calbred filly at the end of their two-year-old season. As a matter of fact, that figure is at least 5 points better than any other horse in the field. And taking to the card is likely to improve nicely off that effort in only her second career start. The only other foal of the Dams who have run a two-turn race on grass won a two-turn race on grass, so there's no knocks on pedigree. Musical Number won the first 2 starts of her career, albeit in a maiden claiming race, and a starter allowance, both on dirt and sprints. When stretched out to a mile for the Soviet Problem last month, she finished 5th with 9, a decent effort. And considering the kind of success trainer Dean Peterson has had with these types of races, 8 for 30 over the past few years in turf route races for Calbreds, I believe Musical Number may be able to run better than her high odds suggest she can. Sunset Grazin won the Golden Gate Debutante Stakes around 2 turns on the dirt at Pleasanton last month with a decent 81 figure, which was 10 points better than the one she earned winning a 2-turn race a month earlier. So with similar improvement, she could be right there with the top contenders. Sunset Grazin is also bred to adore the grass, and another with a shot to run well, maybe at high odds. In the Sunshine Sprint race in the Cal Cup Oaks, race 11 at Santa Anita, post 7:30 Eastern on Saturday the 18th. Take Another Card is a horse I'll look to first for a win bet, 5-2 or higher. Musical Number and Sunset Grazin at 9-2. If we have more than one horse that's worth betting to win, I'll use the Dutching tool at Amwager. For the exactness, I want to play Take Another Card over Musical Number and Sunset Grazin. Then I want to box Take Another Card, Musical Number, and Sunset Grazin. And the last is going to be Take Another Card over Tequila and Therapy, Chili Philly, Hey Jesse, and Less is More. Don't forget, if you want to write this, to get the written version, so you don't have to write all these down from the notes, listening to the podcast, you can get the Key Races and Bets blog totally free at Amwager.com. Go to Amwager.com and click on How to Bet in All Stars blog. While you're there, look around. If you're not a member, you'll be happy you did. It is legal for residents of most states. It's a really great company. You'll enjoy betting there. I will be betting there all weekend. I hope you will as well. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.